We already have a few options at 56mm that are rather excellent, to be fair, nigh on special in some cases. So the third lens that Sigma have just announced might have a bit of work to do. As always, this intro is being shot with the lens in question, but let's take a look at it up close and see how we get on with it. It's going to be very random sample-wise due to the weather and the time scale. This is a pre-production lens on the latest firmware, or rather I should say this is such, and yeah, it'll be over to you in the comments below afterwards. Anyway, this is the Sigma 56mm f1.4 DC DN Contemporary for Fujifilm X Mount. Let's crack on. This is an interesting one because clearly the box is smaller. Well, might be clearly, I don't know. So on the top, the welcome booklet, the instruction booklet. I'm a bit too, I didn't think I'd be excited about this lens, in all honesty, because we've got it pretty well covered, but I'm actually a bit more excited now I've got my hands on it. As with the other two, we've got a hood and lens combo. Very nice, very nice. All individually packaged for what it's worth. I've said it before, but I think the attention to detail with these things, even if it's a contemporary lineup, the attention to detail is very good. This feels like a nice solid lens hood. That's enough time spent on that. We've got a snap cap revealing, need a bit of a dust blower there. It has been used, don't worry, that's not how it comes. I love the black and black stuff. That's really, you know, I'm really enjoying that. 55 mil filter thread, so different to the others, but at least it's nothing too big. I mean, look how small that is. Isn't that cool? 280 grams is all you're looking at. And if we just pop this hood on, and there's a third video, have I got any better at it? Slightly quicker. Look at that. I should have probably zoomed in a little bit more. That is nice. There's the only detail around there discreetly. Full frame equivalent then of 84 mil, I believe it is. 28.5 degrees angle of view. 9 diaphragm blades. 10 elements in 6 groups. Decent amount of glass. Aperture runs from f1.4 to f16. Clearly no aperture ring on this one either. Again, same across the whole contemporary trio that we've just seen released. Manual focus ring. These are nice. It's a nice texture. I didn't mention it before, but the actual feel of it is nice. The grip is decent. This one is fairly loose again. The 30mm was better overall. Focus by wire, so, you know, it's usable but limited, for want of a better word. Limited, yeah. Anyway, closest focusing distance, 50 centimeters. Now, if I flick this around, we've got that seal around the mount, but of course no proper weather sealing, but at least there's a little seal there, so you might get on okay with that. And that's it. It's a tiny little thing, isn't it? Yeah, really like that. Let me remind myself of the weight again. 280 grams. Nice. This is making me think, you know, here's my Viltrox 56mm 1.4 gonna be overshadowed by this. Not sure. That lens is a very decent performer, especially at the price. Obviously, Fujifilm's 56-1.2 and the APD version, image-wise, absolutely beautiful. But to be honest, practicality, these lenses for me have really stood up to the Fujifilm versions. But really, image quality is what it all comes down to. So let's see what we can get out of this miserable month here in the UK to show you. But anyway, more importantly will be what we say and what you say, even more importantly. So yeah. The little thing performed really well, and I can see it taking sales away maybe from the nearest equivalent that I own and enjoy. For me, this is almost a perfect fit and feel on my T3 and my T4 when it comes to size and weight. Now, the minimum focus is actually quite usable for some kind of close-ups, but naturally it's all about people shots with the occasional red-headed duck thrown in for good measure. I mean, I found this duck on my walkabout, and this was the longest lens that I had with me, you know, testing the trio. So it took a bit of patience to get a closer shot. I'll throw it up later anyway. I digress. The autofocus works very well. And out of the trio, the face and eye detection works best on this one, I feel. It performs fast and accurately. Thanks to the speed and the quiet nature of the lens, a portrait or documentary shooter shouldn't be too disappointed with this lens. But for now, here's a few rough examples of the autofocus. Let's get this lens's super sharp out of the way. Sharpness overall is a clear win for the whole trio. You know, sometimes a portrait lens can arguably be too sharp, but this gets it just right. It even helps in dull situations that I've had to deal with this month to get something resembling a decent shot. It gives it that extra bit of depth. Add to that the pleasant bokeh, and this lens has a lot going for it. It handles contrast very well and renders colours nicely. Right, now for that little redhead that caught my eye. It's not all a bed of roses, probably not the phrase. Distortion, it's a bit of a flaw for this one, but I think for the most part it doesn't bother me personally, considering what I'd use this lens for. Maybe I'll investigate it a bit further if I buy the lens for myself. Now, thanks to our own special trio here, Storm Dudley, Storm Eunice, and right now outside my window, Storm Franklin, I haven't had too many decent moments to test the flare, but all seems totally fine throughout the range, as is as it happens, aberration control. Now, talking about the aperture range, here's an indoor test where I stopped down through the range without changing any other variable, so glean what you want from this little clip. The lens is due in April and will cost us £379. Now, I'm not a big fan of comparing lenses unless they're a direct like for like. And yes, of course, I do own this excellent 56mm f1.4, which comes in at £58 less. This has an aperture ring, although it's click-free, 10 centimeters further minimum focus distance, a smaller thread size. It is 10 grams heavier, and it takes up a bit more space in the kit bag. Now, I haven't shot them side by side, but I'll admit I'm a little bit torn now between the two. I'm not racing out to swap my lenses, but this 56mm is a very sweet, tidy little lens that performs really well, especially at this price. Of course, for what it's worth, you get the pedigree of the brand name and the potential to see it in your local retail store, which is always a good shout if you're in a territory like the UK, for example. Now, that's not to knock any other brand, but you know, for some, that's going to make a big difference. Plus, let's be honest, we want Sigma to invest more in the X Mount and bring us those other lovely little lenses. You know, something, I suppose, it's less likely we're going to get an 18 to 35 and a 50 to 100. Fair enough. But maybe they'll look at the 18 to 50, the 150 to 600mm, and whatever else. What do you reckon? Let us know in the comments below what you want. Let's be realistic, I suppose. So yeah, this 56mm, it's a big win for me. And while it wasn't my first choice out of the trio when I first got my hands on them, it's definitely having some strong words against the 16mm there that I'm most leaning towards. That was a bit cheesy. Overall, the trio is a good win at this price point. So let's hope we see more from Sigma very soon.